for a run. Man, those people looked good. All right, so here's satellite and radar. Things are looking good as far as our weather, at least for the next couple of hours. We do have some storms that are really going to favor our coastal locations as we enter into tomorrow. And yes, you probably guessed it, we have another weather impact alert. Actually, a couple of them coming up this week. The one for tomorrow tied to the same system that has been on top of our area. The rain, again, really favoring the coast where you see it right now. This is Loop, Citrus County, really getting the most of the rain right now. There we go. Nice zoom in there, close to US 19. So as we go into tomorrow, you can see some ponding or some localized flooding, and that's because we did really have a lot of rain the last couple of days. Saturated grounds out there. A couple storm reports, pretty impressive from today, mainly across Pinellas and Hillsborough County. Most of these winds between 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts with the storms that we had today. We had a lot of marine warnings, so that's pretty important if you plan on heading out on your boat for tomorrow. Much of the same will still exist, especially close to the Gulf water in Tampa Bay. So what's the weather impact alert for tomorrow? We're starting it at 6 a.m. Just keeping those drivers, those morning commute, those heading to work, whatever you may be doing, off to school. Early in the morning is when you're going to see most of that rain, and then it will start to taper off as we enter into the afternoon. Again, really sticking to the coast here. Some of our inland locations could see it, but it's really going to affect the coast the most. As we look at the impact, gusty winds, localized flooding, much of what we had for the last couple of days here. The severe threat isn't too high. It's really just the rain that we're concerned about. All right, now we're going into the tropics, right? So Barry, good old Barry. What's your favorite Barry White song? My first, my last, my everything. All right, so the last 12 hours, Barry turned into a tropical storm, and then little Barry weakens, made landfall recently in eastern Mexico, and this thing is going to continue dissipating as we move into tomorrow. It's likely going to be a system no more, but still bringing a lot of rain and some flooding concerns across portions of eastern Mexico. So we're thinking of our friends over there. 30 mile per hour winds currently. So Barry, we don't have to worry about here in Florida. However, we have this area, and this has been the talk of the town today. Now, nobody has to worry about anything quite yet. It has a very low chance of development. What's happening here is we're going to have a frontal boundary sink into our region, and it's just going to kind of linger there. And what's going to happen from that, which is pretty typical for this time of the year, we could have a low pressure system form from that. Now, where does that low pressure system want to form? We have a couple days for that low pressure system to decide if it even wants to turn tropical, which that's also up in the air. It could form anywhere here in that yellow circle. It could be on the Gulf side or the southeastern Atlantic. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there right now. That's why that entire area is highlighted in that yellow color, meaning that there's a low 20% chance of this forming into anything over the next several days. 0% chance in the next 48 hours. So here's your headlines for that system. A low pressure system could develop over a remnant front. We just went over that. It could form in the Gulf or the Southeast Atlantic. Still have some time to work that out. And the main detail here that we want you to pay attention to, that regardless of development, this is going to be a rainmaker for our region. So we're looking at a healthy amount of rainfall on top of the rain that we already had from this past week. So that's where we're getting the flood concern. So you're going to see a lot of red on this 7-day here. That's our weather impact alert. Rain looks like it wants to start up Wednesday night, Thursday and Friday especially. And yes, Friday is the 4th of July. So keep those plans in mind. We're probably going to have to make some changes here to those 4th of July plans because